Hi guys, so this is the continuation of my paintball gun show. In a previous video I showed you my modified Tippmann A5 and also the stock A5 I built out of the parts, leftover parts from the original mod. And I decided to buy a little bit more reliable milsim / woodwall / speedball gun. So I went for Planet Eclipse ETHA. I'm very happy with this gun. There was some small initial issues out of the box, and I'll talk about those in a bit. So let's take a look at this. So what have I done to this? So if you look up Planet Eclipse ETHA, it's ETHA online, you will see it actually doesn't look anything like this. It's a speedball gun. This plastic kit, this plastic body is a kit for it. It's called EMC kit, and it allows you to convert it to more of a milsim look. So I have a die rotor mounted on this gun. I'm waiting for the SEED board for this. If you look it up, those are very rare. It's an electronic add-on or replacement board for the feed that allows you, for the loader, that allows you to reverse the motor in case of jams, so it'll unjam automatically. You don't have to pull this thing here, and this doesn't always work, by the way. This is like a built-in mechanical anti-jam mechanism. So the other modification to this is the feed neck has been replaced from plastic feed necks that comes stock with the metal feed neck from I don't remember the brand, but I believe it's the same feed neck that sits on Empire Axe. Not 100%. It actually fits. You can see there's a red dot sight. It works, and does it help? Yes, it does. It gives me, I would say, a significant advantage over people who just use the, eyeball the aiming. The rail, there's a rail here that I've extended using a real gun aluminum extension rail, or riser rail. Sorry, it's made by Vigor. This rail is pretty expensive. It's between 50 and 70 bucks depending where you buy it. I have a composite foregrip. It also allows me to compensate for the kick, for the recoil of the gun. So my shots are, I have a lower vertical spread versus somebody who just uses one hand, or keeps his hands close together by holding onto the air regulator here, because you have kind of like a single pivot, so the gun would still tilt. If you have more spread out anchor points, so to speak, then you can control your gun a little bit better. This is a high capacity shell for the die rotor. It gives me, I think, 225 balls realistically. And this is also adjustable stock. This stock is I don't normally use it because it's hard to aim with the mask on, looking through the red dot. So I typically don't have it on here. And I use the tank mounted in the bottom ASA. One of the things I did to this gun is, of course, in the spirit of modifying everything I have and I own, I added the rear air adapter, basically the stock air, just like on my A5, and I'll show you how I did it. So first thing what I did is I replaced, this fitting here with a fitting that swivels and allows me to point it upwards. When the fitting points upwards, I install a macro line here that goes through this little tie wrap here to the back of the gun. On the back of the gun, there's a cap that comes stock with the kit. Hold on a second. So this plastic cap usually goes in here. This is not a buttstock adapter. Like this, there's a second cap that comes with it that allows you to put the buttstock, the 98 style buttstock in it, Tippmann 98. This is just a flat cap with a small hole for the Allen wrench to unscrew the bolt. So what I did, I dremeled out the plastic, and just by pure luck, an ASA from Rep 4 designed for Tippmann 98 actually fits in here. You can this was pressed in before, so I dremeled it out, and it's just about 0.5 millimeter smaller in diameter. So if you put this in the vise and compress it, this will actually go in and stay in really nicely. So I'm not gonna press it in because I'm in the process of making some adjustments to this mod, but the way it looks like this. This goes in here, and here I can put a 13 cubic inch air tank from my A5. Let's take a look. There's also an adapter on the bottom here that allows me to attach a guide pin to prevent the buttstock from spinning around. I don't have it mounted right now, but just for demonstration purposes, I'll put this on. I'll show you how it looks like. Okay. So, as a finished product, it'll look like that. And obviously this will be pressed in further in, so the buttstock will be closer to the body of the gun. And when I use the 13 cubic inch tank, I don't use the large, gigantic feed system. I use a small gravity fed hopper. Like that. So the gun is very compact. And I also have my next mod for this gun is going to be a Q-loader system. If you don't know what it is, you can look it up online. If you're into paintball, you probably know what it is. But there's going to be a 90-degree elbow bringing the hose down, and the Q-loader mechanism will be here. So I'll have, again, no hopper on top, and I'll be able to use my red dot sight on top of the gun rather than the side of the gun. A lot of people are asking where to get the additional rails for Planet Eclipse ETHA, and there seems to be almost no information on the forums where to get those additional rails. This rail is called Magpul MOE rail. So if you Google Magpul MOE rail, you'll find those kits. They come in different lengths. They're about between $5 to $12 a piece, depending on how long it is, and they fit this gun. The only issue I found with them is when you put the screws in, they actually go in too deep, and if you're not careful, they will actually go inside and it will prevent you from inserting the barrel. If you put one of the screws way back here, it'll actually gouge into the side of your actual marker, and you might destroy or damage the hole where the barrel screws in. So be very careful. I ended up putting two thick washers under the screws, so when they go in through the nut goes on the inside, they're flush. I also highly recommend to take the gun apart and split the EMC kit into halves before putting those rails on. Once you put the rails on, reassemble it back. Don't try to grab the nuts with pliers from this side or through the holes, because you'll end up scratching the inside of your EMC kit and it'll be just a mess. So don't do it. Don't be lazy. Take the kit off the gun and mount your rails ahead of time. So again, EMC ETHA Weaver rail. Those grips are, I believe those are UTG grips. Those are $20 for a bag of 10 or something, or 8, I don't remember. They're just kind of soften the grip when you hold the gun from below. This Foregrip is from eBay. There's a ton of Chinese brands that make this. This is my favorite one. I'll show you how it looks like on the inside. There's this little refocus time. There's this little like a pin and a shaft that goes up and down when you screw the bottom in. Let me take this out, I'll show you. That's how it looks like. So this knob here would go between in the slots on the Picatinny rail, and there's an O-ring here that prevents it from letting go when the gun vibrates. So I find this the most reliable foregrip. There's a ton of them that have the screws on the side, all kind of mounting quick release. I find they're all crap. This is the most reliable one, and it goes on any rail. It goes on Picatinny rail and it goes on Weaver rail. And despite what people think, the Weaver and Picatinny rails are not the same. They have slightly different dimensions. They're mostly the same, and most of the accessories will fit either one. But this one is more or less universal, and it fits both of them really nicely. And that's the end of the show for today.